The silent sabotage. Why most people never get rich? Charlie Munger's brutal truth? We all yearn for financial freedom, for liberation from the daily grind. We tirelessly pursue knowledge, invest diligently, and labor with unwavering dedication. Yet, for a perplexing majority, true wealth remains an elusive horizon, a distant dream perpetually out of reach. They often meticulously follow conventional wisdom, believing their methods sound, their efforts sufficient. But promised prosperity never fully materializes. Why this persistent, frustrating disconnect between earnest aspiration and harsh reality, a gap that seems to widen the harder many strive? What if the most formidable barrier to your financial destiny isn't market chaos, economic shifts, or even your initial capital? What if it resides far closer, an insidious, invisible force woven into the fabric of your own mind, silently, relentlessly undermining your every concerted effort, day after relentless day, rendering even your best intentions futile? Charlie Munger, the quiet genius and formidable intellectual counterweight to Warren Buffett at Berkshire Hathaway, was far more than a brilliant investor. He was a profound, almost surgical observer of human psychology, and through his decades of astute, unflinching observation, he uncovered a brutal yet profoundly liberating truth. Most individuals fail to achieve significant, life-altering wealth, not primarily due to misfortune or a fundamental lack of intelligence, or limited access to privileged information. No, they are caught in a complex, self-perpetuating web of deeply ingrained, often unconscious, self-defeating behaviors and fundamental mental errors. These are not grand dramatic failures. They are silent sabotages, hidden in plain sight, ensuring a lifetime of financial mediocrity and frustrating struggle for the vast majority. Today on the Munger Almanac, we shall meticulously peel back the layers of illusion and expose these insidious forces that operate within us. Munger's genius lay not in dictating what specific stocks to invest in, but how to construct a resilient mental framework designed to systematically avoid intellectual and financial destitution. This discourse is not about market secrets, elusive formulas, or get-rich-quick schemes. It is about confronting the fundamental flaws within your own cognitive architecture, the very operating system of your mind that inherently prevent lasting prosperity. Understand this with absolute clarity. If you neglect to comprehend, acknowledge, and actively combat these insidious patterns, your financial trajectory is not merely uncertain. In Munger's stark, uncompromising terms, it is already predetermined. Prepare yourself for Charlie Munger's unfiltered, unwavering, and utterly brutal truth about why the majority never truly gets rich. Munger's pragmatic approach to wealth building was elegantly simple yet profoundly challenging for many. It was predicated on avoiding colossal stupidity. He consistently asserted that the clearest, most reliable path to riches lay not in striving for brilliant insights, but in meticulously identifying and rigorously circumventing what not to do. He dedicated his life to rigorously cataloging deeply ingrained human behaviors, common cognitive pitfalls, and psychological biases that are fundamentally antithetical to accumulating and preserving genuine wealth. His philosophy was a masterclass in inverted thinking, focusing on eliminating the negatives to allow the positives to flourish.
That's the life of Mozart. What the hell did Mozart do to screw it up? To make himself, well, he did two things that are guaranteed to create a lot of misery. He overspent his income scrupulously. That's number one. That is really stupid. And the other thing was he was full of jealousies and resentments. If you'll overspend your income and be full of jealousy and resentments, you can have a lousy, unhappy life and die young. All you've got to do is learn from Mozart.
Such is Munger's unvarnished candor. Simple, yet profoundly impactful truth, often overlooked, dismissed, or actively resisted by many. Now, let us meticulously examine these 6 pervasive silent saboteurs. These unconscious forces that subtly yet powerfully deter the majority from achieving true financial success and enduring well-being. 1. The silent saboteur, impatience and the underestimation of compounding. Intellectually, we grasp compound interest, money making money. Yet Munger observed, most people tragically fail to viscerally appreciate its true exponential might and, crucially, lack the profound patience required to unleash its magic. In an era of instant gratification, compounding's slow, deliberate march feels agonizingly prolonged. Individuals instinctively seek rapid gains, chase fleeting trends, or withdraw capital prematurely, terrified by short-term volatility. This pervasive impatience, relentlessly fueled by societal comparison, unequivocally undermines the most powerful force in financial history. Munger lamented how deeply individuals discount the future, prioritizing immediate comfort. They habitually sacrifice immense exponential future growth for ephemeral, linear, and often fleeting present comfort, never allowing their financial seeds to mature into formidable, income-generating trees. Your inherent psychological impatience, therefore, actively and devastatingly, counteracts nature's greatest, most reliable wealth builder. 2. The silent saboteur. The corrosive influence of envy and jealousy. Munger deemed envy one of humanity's most destructive forces, profoundly so financially. In our hyper-connected, social media-saturated world, where curated highlight reels of extravagant lifestyles are constantly showcased, direct, relentless comparison is inescapable. This fosters a deep, corrosive envy, propelling irrational, impulsive financial decisions, acquiring superfluous luxuries, chasing speculative investments based on others' purported success, or assuming excessive risks driven by a desperate need to catch up. Envy compulsively forces you to deviate wildly from a sound, disciplined, long-term financial plan, leading to actions rooted in bitterness, not logic, Munger famously declared. It's not greed that drives the world, but envy. This silent saboteur poisons contentment, destroys focus, and inevitably precipitates the very mistakes that preclude genuine, sustainable wealth. 3. The silent saboteur, the blindness of denial and irrational over-optimism. When confronted with uncomfortable truths about their financial reality, declining investment performance, grim business prospects, or unsustainable spending, most individuals instinctively resort to denial. They desperately cling to comforting delusions. It will turn around eventually. This psychological denial, often coupled with irrational optimism, systematically blinds them to palpable risks. Munger identified this profound refusal to acknowledge and confront reality as a root cause of vast financial ruin. Whether stubbornly doubling down on a losing stock or ignoring red flags in a failing business, the mind's resistance to harsh truths ensures small problems relentlessly escalate into catastrophic disasters. Your unwillingness to face unpleasant facts is a direct, often irreversible path to financial stagnation or collapse. Reality, unyielding, cares not for your hopes. 4. The silent saboteur, the crippling neglect of a multidisciplinary latticework. Munger, a true polymath, insisted that genuine wisdom, and thus effective wealth building, stems from understanding fundamental big ideas from all major academic disciplines: psychology, history, physics, biology, mathematics. He termed this interconnected collection of concepts, a multidisciplinary mental latticework. Most individuals, however, operate predominantly within a single, isolated intellectual silo. They apply a singular hammer to every problem, missing crucial nuances, interconnected risks, or vast opportunities. Without this broad mental toolkit, one operates with severe intellectual handicaps, destined to misinterpret crucial signals of prosperity or impending doom. This intellectual laziness is a potent, silent saboteur. 5. The silent saboteur. Extreme specialization divorced from broad context. Building upon the previous point, while specialization fosters competence. Munger cautioned against its extreme forms where one loses sight of the broader, interconnected context. Many professionals fall victim to the man with a hammer syndrome. They optimize for their narrow domain, so often overlooking external factors or unintended consequences impacting their decisions. This tunnel vision leads to suboptimal outcomes and missed wealth opportunities. Munger tirelessly championed worldly wisdom, understanding how all pieces fit to prevent one from being a brilliant fool in a narrow field, achieving micro-efficiency while macro forces lead to ruin. 6. The silent saboteur. The compulsion of the do-something syndrome, action bias. Finally, and perhaps one of the most insidious subtle sabotages, is the pervasive, almost pathological pressure to constantly do something. In investing, and indeed in life, an overwhelming compulsion to be perpetually active exists. When markets are volatile, individuals feel an irresistible urge to frantically buy or sell. If an investment fails to perform instantly, they feel an inherent need to fix it. This action bias, often driven by anxiety or the need to feel productive, leads to overtrading, excessive fees, and disrupts compounding. Munger, conversely, championed disciplined inaction. "It's waiting that helps you as an investor," he famously stated. Most individuals sabotage their wealth by incessant tinkering, driven by a need for activity rather than patient, strategic idleness. This constant doing directly drains wealth. These are not merely isolated flaws. When these silent saboteurs operate in concert, they create a relentless destructive drag on your financial progress. They ensure that even the most diligent efforts often culminate in frustration and stagnation. Your impatience erodes compounding, envy drives debt. Denial blinds you to risks. Narrow thinking obscures opportunities. Specialization creates fatal blind spots. Constant doing undermines long-term gains. This, my friends, is Charlie Munger's unvarnished, brutal truth. The majority unknowingly fights against themselves, their prosperity undermined by their own ingrained mental frameworks. Yet Munger did not merely diagnose the problem with chilling accuracy. He diligently prescribed the most powerful, most actionable antidote. His life exemplified that systematically avoiding stupidity by consciously building mental defenses against these silent sabotages, you not only dramatically increase your chances of financial success, but you also cultivate a clearer, more rational, ultimately happier existence. His framework for neutralizing these insidious sabotages is simple in principle, yet demands immense discipline and unwavering intellectual honesty to execute. It is immensely powerful precisely because it addresses the root causes of financial failure. Cultivate radical self-awareness and practice inversion. Ruthlessly scrutinize your own mind for biases. Ask, am I impatient? Envious? Denying truth? Apply Munger's inversion. What am I doing that prevents me from getting rich? This brutal self-honesty is the first, most critical, and most liberating step to disarm internal saboteurs. Build and cultivate a multidisciplinary mental latticework. This is your ultimate intellectual and financial shield. By actively, deliberately, and consistently learning the fundamental, big ideas from all major academic disciplines: psychology, history, economics, physics, biology, mathematics, and philosophy, you construct a robust, interconnected mental toolkit. This latticework empowers you to view any problem from multiple complementary angles. It enables you to identify hidden biases, spot interconnected risks, or vast opportunities. It helps you make decisions based on a far more complete understanding of reality. This broad worldly wisdom acts as an impenetrable shield against narrow thinking and crippling blind spots that inevitably destroy wealth. Embrace profound patience and strategic inaction. Munger's extraordinary success was built on profound patience. Waiting for truly intelligent opportunities and doing nothing when none appeared, resist the do-something impulse. True wealth building demands long periods of disciplined waiting, allowing good ideas and solid investments to mature over decades. This inaction, when judiciously applied, is a powerful accelerant of wealth. Ruthlessly learn from the mistakes of others and your own. Munger was an avid, almost insatiable student of human folly. Meticulously studied history and biographies not just for inspiration, but primarily to identify recurring patterns of error and failure. He also rigorously analyzed his own past errors, both commissions and omissions, ensuring he never repeated stupid mistakes. By deeply understanding how others inadvertently sabotaged their success, you can proactively build mental fences, intellectual barriers, and behavioral safeguards around those exact pitfalls. This systematic study of failure, rather than just a superficial focus on success, is a cornerstone of Munger's genius and a powerful antidote to self-sabotage. Charlie Munger's truth is undeniably brutal, but in its unflinching honesty lies its profound, liberating power. Your financial destiny is not solely dictated by external forces, but fundamentally by the silent sabotages within your own mind. By understanding, diligently recognizing, and meticulously avoiding these common human failings, these predictable patterns of self-defeat, you unlock a path to wealth, wisdom, and genuine peace of mind that remains perpetually closed to the vast majority. The choice, resolute, profound, and ultimately yours, is clear. Will you continue to be an unwitting victim of your own silent sabotages, forever wondering why true wealth and peace of mind perpetually elude you? Or will you internalize Munger's brutal wisdom, courageously apply his timeless principles, and consciously forge the mental habits, the lattice work of sound thinking, that lead inexorably to lasting financial freedom and profound rationality? If you are ready to dismantle the barriers to your success, if you are prepared to master your mind and consequently your wealth, then subscribe to the Munger Almanac now. Click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to be alerted about every new transformative truth we share. And in the comments below, share with us, which of these silent sabotages do you most powerfully recognize in yourself, and what concrete steps will you commit to taking, starting today, to overcome it and build your wealth the Munger way? Your journey to true wealth and profound wisdom begins now, with brutal self-honesty and an unwavering commitment to truth.